Well, good afternoon, YouTube. Well, for once, it's not the morning, but you can see my hood is already popped on it. It's finna do some work on it. It needs some TLC, so I'm about to get started. All right, if you pay attention, you see I already got started. But yeah, this is the good old 3.7 V6 from Ford. You can say what you want about a V6, but this has been a great, reliable motor and car for me. Even though I've done some rigging and done some other things to it, it's then taken it and went through it all. That's coming off. I got new spark plugs going in. I got something to clean my intake up. And some more little just small odds and ends to do to it. But yeah, I'm about to get this thing back good. Get my gas mileage back up, because it's been terrible. So yeah, to get started with a tune-up on a car like this got to come off. The intake piping got to come off. I have to unplug this guy. It's like 7 or 8 screws in there. This has to come off. That has to come off. Yeah, that comes off too. So this whole intake section right here, the whole plenum intake, it got to come off so I can get to the other spark plugs that's under there. So I'm finna take that off first. Oh my God, that is just terrible. I'm gonna have to get another one. It is no light coming through that thing, except for the hose. Yeah, that could have been bad. So that's to my ABS system. That's the plug-in, and the intake filter been rubbing on it, chafing on it, whatever people want to call it. Yeah, that could have been ugly. Well, that was pretty dirty. That was my fault for not taking care of it like I was supposed to, skipping maintenance. But yeah, I got it cleaned up. I used the K&N clean over there. I cleaned it up. It's got a little rust spot in it, but I think it'll be all right. Promise you, it's not gonna hurt the motor. There's probably people watching this video that has an air filter in way worse shape than this one. So yeah. But anyway, back to the main issue. So this comes off. This goes to the brake booster. This hose does right here. Goes up there. This goes to the valve cover, like extra gas, EGR type stuff. Then I gotta take this screw, then that comes off. Undo my shade tree work right there, and then I can get started taking the main intake off. I actually don't have to take this whole thing off, but if I'm gonna be here taking it apart, I might as well take it all the way apart and clean it up before I put it back together. It is just so filthy under here. So I got all the little hoses done, the eval systems, all that EGR stuff. I got all that undone. Now I just got to start working to all the screws holding this on, and it's already loose. I did break a clip that holds the wire harness to the throttle body, but I'll do something about that in a second. All right, so I got all the bolts out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 back there, 7. And I really like the Ford did this. Let's see what it looked like under there. Oh, nope, one's not ready. Yeah, okay. Here we go. Ooh, I haven't seen none of there in some years. No, it ain't been years, but it's been a while. It's a little dirty. Got a little leak. But look pretty good. So now that that's off, I can start working on the spark plugs. Why are these so tight? Yeah, trying to do this with one hand ain't safe. I'm sorry for the bad camera angle. Got a designated spot for all these little guys. Oh. This red tab come out. Press down on this. That comes out. And the spark plug down there. I'm sure everybody know how to take a spark plug out, but just in case you don't, spark plug socket already on there. Okay, let me make sure I don't do nothing wrong, so I'm gonna put this down real quick. Yep. Don't mind me just undoing my spark plugs in the middle of my apartment complex. Well, not just my spark plug. I done took the whole top half of my engine off here in my apartment complex. That's why my name is Shade Tree. So Shade Tree. I'm so Shade Tree. I live in a nice apartment complex, and yet here I am, still back to my old ways. There goes the neighborhood. I don't look bad, but I got all new ones, so it's still getting replaced. So I just gotta repeat that 4 more times, because I already did the first one off camera. And I'll be putting it all back together. So these are the spark plugs I'm gonna be using on this thing. They was nice enough and wrote the gap on them, 0.51. I checked the gap. I would do it on camera for y'all, but I ain't got 3 hands. So, but I checked it and it was right on it. It was exactly what they said it was gonna be. So I'm finna start popping them in, at least one side. Then I'll go back and do the other side. I do one side at a time. I can't talk. So I can put my coils back exactly where they came out of. Alright, I already put that spark plug in. You know what? That's the wrong coil. That's the wrong. No, that was the right coil. So I already put that in. Push this down to your ear, like make a click noise. See if you can hear it. No, but you'll feel it. You'll feel it when it's see. Hook that back up. Don't forget this screw that holds the coil in. I think it, yeah. And that's it. And then I gotta repeat that 5 more times. So it's getting dark on me, but I'm not gonna let that stop me. Spark plugs are already in. Coils plugged back in, everything bolted back down to spark plugs. Now I gotta go ahead and do this while I still got some daylight. Then I can worry about putting the plenum back on. Intake manifold, whatever you wanna call it. Well, reservoir fought me kind of hard. But I got some luck. I forgot it was a light up there. So I'm good. I'm gonna show y'all what this new reservoir look like. Well, I already beat the box open, but I was gonna let everyone see this nice and clean brand new part. Ooh. It's clean too. Dang, I don't think I got a lid. Oh, I did get a lid. Thank you. They getting better with these parts, man. I swear, you used to buy the reservoir jug and that's all you got was the reservoir jug. I got a lid too. All right, I'm sorry I skipped the install, but 2 10mm bolts. This hose, that hose, and that one under there. Really easy to get those clamps off. They just squeeze together clamps that once you squeeze them, they lock into each other and stay open for you. Sorry I forgot to record me installing or taking the old one off, but it just looked bad. Everything is dusty and dirty. And I put this brand new part on here. But it's not my fault because I live in the desert where everything is dusty and dirty. Got it installed, full of coolant. I'm out of breath because I tried to push it back so I can have a little bit more light. No. Yeah, boy. I'm sure I'm gonna have to let that run through and mix with the old stuff that was in there and then flush it out. Oh my God. I'm sorry, I just like for it to be where I can read it. But to this though, this is not hard to reinstall, not hard at all. I just got it setting up there right now. I'm gonna bolt it in. And yeah, I ain't gonna be able to start it though because I broke my key. So yeah, I did all of this knowing my key was broke, but once my key get here, it's gonna be a reward because this thing should run a whole lot better, especially after seeing how dirty that air filter was. This was already new. I replaced this about a year ago and it still looks really good up in there. About a year. And it looks brand new like I just put it on. So that's good. But it probably looks good like that because it wouldn't hardly get no air through the filter. So I'm gonna put this back together and I'm gonna cut you back on. Well, it's all back together and dirty, but it's back together. And one more thing that I like to do whenever I work on my car is, and yes, I got my key back working. It was my own fault that the key wasn't working. I explained that in some other video, but let's hear it. like a sewing machine. I get in my programmer, big functions, and I always do like a clear code thing. PRA. I do this because, well, it just did it that quick, but I do this because the car has an electronic throttle body, the coils, you know, just anything I have to unplug that's electric, I always go back through and clear the codes before I run it. And I just wanted to point this out. Usually when I'm driving down the highway at night, this temperature is like at 103, 107, between 103 and 109 degrees. I'm sitting still with no air flowing into the intake, and I'm running a 77 degree intake temperature. If cleaning out that intake did not help, I don't know what did. But that alone tells me that it's running a whole lot better. If I can sit in one spot and only reach 77 degrees in intake, it is running so much better. I know it's nighttime YouTube, but I can already feel the difference, and I ain't even got out on the main road yet. Like, I'm barely touching my gas pedal right now, and I'm just accelerating like where I had to push it almost halfway. And it's like, oh my God, I can't. Wow, man, I just didn't know how bad I was neglecting my damn car. Just tune up, clean out the air intake, and fix the coolant reservoir leak. Just those simple things. And oh yeah, and I redid the tune on it. I rewrote my tune for 87 instead of 91 because 91 is extremely too expensive. But man, this thing, I still got my exhaust leak. I can hear that. I'm sure y'all can hear it too. But right now, I'm like big toeing this car like SpongeBob. Not as much big toe as SpongeBob, but you know, I'm barely touching my gas and this thing is just going. Wow, I'm really scraping on this road. Yep, scrape. I don't care, it's mine. It don't pop the tire, it just scrapes. Actually taking decent video at night. So much better. But YouTube, I think I'm out. I'm finna go out and have some fun in my baby. I'm gonna go to this car meet, and I see y'all on the next video.